Hello and welcome to Fides Television live on Fides Media. It's a pleasure to have you join us on another episode of Newsflash. I am Dennis Joy. Stay tuned for an insightful glance at the top stories from the Fides newspaper. Coming your way after this short break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying tuned. Now to the news update for this week. Soludo, Ukachukwu, Mogaludu, Batu. Let's look further into the story. Saturday, April 5 was a critical decision-making day for Anambra people as major political parties in the state elected candidates that will fly their flags for November 8 governorship election in the state. While the ruling All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, elected incumbent governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, to fly their flag, the Labour Party chose immediate past Director General of National Inland Waterways Authority, Dr. George Moghalu, and the All Progressives Congress, APC, settled for businessman and real estate giant, Prince Nicholas Ukachukwu. This story is continued on page 4 of the Fides newspaper. Another major story occupied on the front page of the Fides newspaper reads, Soludo names Airport Road after Obiano, calls it symbolic gesture of unity and legacy. In a landmark event that blended infrastructure development with heartfelt recognition of legacy, Governor Chukwuma Soludo on Monday, 7th March, commissioned the road leading to the Chinua Achebe International Airport, Umueri, and renamed it Willie Obiano Boulevard in honor of his immediate predecessor, Chief Willie Obiano, who built the airport. The commissioning, according to the press secretary to the governor, Mr. Christian Aburime, was held at the gateway to the Chinua Achebe International Airport and attracted an impressive gathering of dignitaries, including members of the State Executive Council, traditional rulers, House of Assembly members, community leaders, and political stakeholders from across Anambra State. This story can be found on page 6 of the Fides newspaper. And on that same page, police nabbed 2 suspects over murder of 80-year-old woman in Iyala, recovered deceased motorcycle from suspects. These 2 stories can be found on page 6 of the Fides newspaper. Allow theology courses go through you, Bishop Ezio Okafor to students. Let's look further into the story. It was a joyous and momentous occasion for the management and students of Fides School of Theology and Evangelization, Awka, as they gathered at St. Patrick's Cathedral, Awka, for their 2024-2025 and second matriculation ceremony. The historic event, which took place on Saturday, 5th April 2025, also featured the graduation of 2015 to 2024 sets and the commissioning of new evangelizers by the proprietor of the school and Bishop of Awka Diocese, Most Reverend Dr. Paulinus Chukwuemeka Ezio Okafor. Details of the story can be found on page 15 of the Fides newspaper. And on page 5, 100 students bagged scholarship in FCCT, Umunze. Meanwhile, on page 14, who stopped Soludo in November? This story is found on the column page as I see it by Jude Atupulazi. You can check out page 14 of the Fides newspaper for more details of the story. You're not doing enough. Bishop Ezio Okafor blasts fathers over church activities. Let's have a glimpse into the story. The Catholic Bishop of Awka Diocese, His Lordship Most Reverend Paulinus Ezio Okafor, has expressed deep worry over what he has described as the lack of seriousness and commitment by members of the Catholic Men's Organization, CMO, as regards the well-being and development of the Universal Church, exhorting them to be up and doing, humble, diligent, and to well borrow a leaf from their female counterparts. Bishop Ezio Okafor, who made this known at St. Teresa Catholic Church, Agbo, in Orumba North local government area of Anambra State, while carrying out his pastoral function, called for attitudinal change, saying he would continue chastising them. You can get more details of the story on page 8 of the Fides newspaper. And on page 10, our future can't be bribed. Ozigbo. Now let's move on to our advertorial page. The chronicles of the administration of Nwa Mgbafo and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. You can get a glimpse of our advertorial for this week on page 2 of the Fides newspaper. And now to our editorial segment for this week. Anambra Party primaries, or how not to do elections. If what was seen at the primary elections of some political parties last weekend is anything to go by, then nothing has been learnt by the political class, apart from the primaries by the ruling All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, and that of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Those of the remaining two left much to be desired. Despite a judgment of the Supreme Court that nullified its leadership, the Julius Agure function of the Labour Party is still clinging on to legitimacy, reason it had gone ahead to hold its own primary election that threw up Dr. George Moghalu as its candidate. Details of our editorial can be found on page 3 of the Fides newspaper. And that's all for this week's episode of Newsflash. Thanks for tuning in. For latest news updates, kindly follow us on all our social media handles as displayed on your screen. You can always get a copy of the Fides newspaper for your reading pleasure. I am Dennis Joe, your anchor. Goodbye for now.